I'm Logan Crawford, and right now on Spotlight, we're shining a light on a powerful blend of poetry, humor, and resilience. The name of the book, Usefulness of Hippopotamus, a humorous chapbook for trying times. It is written by one of my favorite guests, acclaimed poet and author, Vincent J. Tomeo. In the book, he transforms laughter into healing using wit and warmth to help readers navigate personal and global hardship. This uplifting collection proves that even in the darkest moments of our life, humor can be a lifeline. We're delighted to have this very talented author join us here today on Spotlight, and we ask viewers like you to support authors like him by subscribing to our channel and by purchasing his amazing book. The links are below this interview. Vincent, thank you so much for joining me once again here today.
Thank you, sir. Good morning.
Great to have you on the show. I understand it was during a trying time, a medical challenge, that you discovered that humor could be the best medicine in many ways. Talk to us a little bit about that.
Everybody has a crisis, but it's how we deal with that crisis that makes all the difference. And when I heard I had cancer, actually the treatment's worse than the disease.
Yeah.
And I remember Nurse Poe said to me, well, try to think positive, and you're a poet, so why don't you just scream out one of your poems to help you get through the treatment, which I did, and it helped me. And I found out that humor can act as a medicine during a critical time. We all need to laugh, and we all have challenges, but it's how we overcome those challenges that make all the difference. And I chose to use humor as a medicine.
Absolutely. Life is a roller coaster ride. There are ups, there are downs, but if you can laugh through those times when you're going downhill, it'll make it seem a lot better and hopefully get you back uphill soon. The central figure of your book is a hippopotamus. Tell us about why you chose him and why you think he resonates so clearly as a literary metaphor. There he is.
See my hippo? This is Marcus Morris, my hippo.
Wonderful.
You see him? Can you see him? I can't.
Oh,
see
yeah,
him.
I see him. Absolutely. I'm looking right at him. He's
Morris,
bigger than you.
And why a hippo? Well, I was in a funk, and I was trying to get out of that funk, and I thought of something that's going to make me laugh. And I thought of Walt Disney's Fantasia and the dancing hippos in ballerina tutus, and it made me laugh. And so I wrote a poem about a hippo, and that evolved into my chapbook, The Usefulness of Hippopotamus. And so I took a negative and made it into a positive.
Awesome.
And
awesome.
A friend gave me this. They said, we have a gift for you when my book was published. So here's my hippo.
That's great. Like I said, he's bigger than you. Marcus the hippopotamus. Right. Wonderful, wonderful. I can see why he cheered you up.
The marvelous hippopotamus.
Oh, Marcus the marvelous hippopotamus? Okay, that's great.
Morris, the marvelous.
Morris, okay, I'll get it straight eventually.
Okay.
Right. Okay, wonderful, wonderful. I can see why he cheered you up. Now, if that hippo came to life and could invite you out to get some tea, talk to us a little bit about what that would be like.
Well, we will probably have scones, since I like scones very much, with cream and tea. So Earl Grey tea. And we would discuss what it's like being a hippo and how humor has helped hippos manage their existence in the jungle.
Wonderful, wonderful. Well, that's a tea time I'd like to be invited to. So if Morris, the marvelous hippopotamus, ever invites you to tea, let me know. I'll be there without a doubt. Now, talk to us about how this book compares to your other books of poetry.
Well, this book uses humor as a form of medicine, and I try to make people laugh throughout the whole book. Unlike my cemetery friends, is more reflective. It's a celebration of life in a garden, which happens to be a cemetery, but it's not doom and gloom, and it's not dwelling on death, but rather on a life and the past, the present, and the future. And walking through a cemetery has helped me during hard times. And I walk there every day, 3.5 miles through St. Mary's Cemetery. I started doing that about 35 years ago, and I've been doing it ever since I live in such a heavily populated urban area. So I get in my car, drive to the cemetery, park the car, and do the walk. And it helped me a great deal uh, fighting depression, which I'm really never depressed, but just, I feel good, keep active, exercise, very important. And yes.
Wonderful, wonderful. You made a good friend walking through that cemetery. Tell us about him.
I made many friends, but one in particular, Father Zanin. I met him. It was funny how I met him. It was raining, and there was a coffin and just Father Zanin, and there was no one there. So I stopped to say a prayer, and Father Zanin said, "Are you family?" I said, "No." "Are you friends?" "No." "Did you know this person?" I said, "No." He said, "Well, why did you stop?" I said, "Because no one should be buried all alone without
Mm.
someone to pay respect or send them off to the other side." So he said to me, "Well, what brings you here?" I said, "Well, I walk here every day, and my mother's buried here. My family's, many members of my family are buried here." So he said to me, "Let me walk with you to your mother's grave and give her a blessing." So we walked in the rain to my mother's grave, and there on
Mm.
my mother's grave in the rain, he blessed her. And that was the beginning of a long friendship. In
Mm.
fact, it was Father Zanin who said to me, he came to a few of my poetry readings, and he said, "Mr. Tomeo, you're a good poet, but you have to let your feelings show your feeling, get, or don't be hypercorrect. Let your emotions go, and your audience will really relate to that." And so I did, and that changed everything. He was correct. He really had keen insight into people and into feelings. And we were good friends for close to 35 years. So
Wow.
that's one person. But I've met other people, like 6 degrees of separation. You meet someone who knows someone who knows someone. And so I made friends in the cemetery. And that's why I wrote my book, My Cemetery Friends.
Yeah. Wonderful, wonderful. And it also brings you peace and comfort visiting your mother's grave as well. Tell us a little bit about what a special person she was to you and the impact she had on your life.
Well, my mother was a treasure, as most mothers are
Mm.
treasures. In this case, she was a strong, resilient single parent. She was a single parent. I never really knew my dad. Um, my dad was in World War II and was in the Pacific Campaign, island hopping, uh, and he was never the same after the war. My mother always said that he was a good man before the war, and the war changed him. But anyway, I my mother always instilled in me a sense of worth, self-worth, and pride. She was strong and she was resilient. I'll give you one example. I was 9 or 10 years old, and I was in the hospital uh, overcoming rheumatic heart disease as a child. And I remember in those days, they would usher the parents out after the visiting hours. And I said, "Ma, please don't leave. I don't want to stay here." She says, "Don't worry, I won't leave you." And after the nurse left, my mother hid under the bed. Uh, and she remained there until I guess I fell asleep.
Yeah,
But I never forgot that. It's one of those touching uh, experiences that there's no words for.
yeah.
And another time when I graduated college, I remember walking across the stage, and my mother was in the audience, and she stood up and screamed, "That's my son!" And I was so embarrassed. I thought my legs were going to cave in. But the whole audience started clapping, and
Wonderful.
so it's things like that you remember. Um, and I'm fortunate to have a very good childhood. My older brother was good to me. He would
Mm.
take me everywhere, and so yeah, I was a happy
Yeah.
little camper.
Absolutely, absolutely. Your mother does sound like a treasure. I love that story of her hiding underneath the bed at the hospital. That's great. That's really great. And obviously, that was a great comfort knowing that she cared about you that much. And you probably almost thought it was kind of funny at the time that she was hiding under the bed. So a little humor was the best medicine at that point as
I
well, right?
like the defiance,
Yeah,
the fact that she defied the system kind of tickled my heart and made
yeah.
me laugh, and
I,
so we connected on many levels. Yeah.
I think our mothers teach us that. Mothers tend to be very, very strong.
Yes.
They're like velvet hammers, smooth on the outside, but very, very strong, without a
That's true.
doubt. Are
That's
you working on any new books of poetry or any other projects? Tell us a little bit
well.
of what's going on with you.
I write all the time, and I publish many of my works in a magazine called Juniper Berry Magazine.
Mhm.
Um, but I write for newspapers, magazines, and what I think I want to do is to put all my work together that's everywhere else into one anthology and call it the collected works of Vincent Joseph Tomeo, and see where that goes. So that'll be my next project. Um, yes.
Sounds great. Looking forward to that. What do you hope readers take away from the usefulness of hippopotamus?
I hope that they take away the sense that they too can face a challenge
Mhm.
using humor as a form of medicine. Surround yourself with people of good cheer. Uh, don't let people rent, if they're negative, don't let them rent space in your head. Be around positive people, and be around people that are going to help you.
Mm.
Or a friend should be someone who helps you and cares about you, and shares with you the joys and the sorrows and everything else.
Yeah,
So that's what I hope my book would do for other people. Uh, yes.
absolutely. Do you have a poem from that book you'd like to share with us, Vincent?
Okay. Yeah.
That would be great. And then again, the name of the book is The Usefulness of Hippopotamus.
Can you
And it
see
is
it?
a chapbook, and it is quite wonderful. It's quite humorous, and it's quite inspiring. And I think it'll help a lot of people who are going through challenging times do it with a smile on their face, with some positivity, with some resilience, and with some joy.
Okay. I think I will read a couple of, if I might read two or
Sure.
three. I read my poems to my dog. Only Rex will give me the time I need. Rex sits attentively, wiggles his tail when a poem rhymes, barks and growls at Gothic poetry, howls at slam. His ears rise when he does not understand. Rex nods his head when moved. And after my reading, Rex touches me with his cold nose and licks my salty arm.
Wonderful. I love that. I love that. Reminds me of my dog Oreo, the best audience in the world, without a doubt.
Yes,
Yeah.
pets are family.
Yeah.
I have another one. My
Sure.
grandmother always used to say, she was eccentric. She had several dogs, and she used to say, "When I die, I'm coming back as a dog." So when Grandma died, about a week later, a dog came in our backyard and started scratching at the door. I
Wow.
was 10 years old. My mother opened the door and she went, shoo, shoo, shoo. And I said, Ma, Grandma always said she's coming back as a dog. That was it. We kept the dog. We named it Grandma. So I wrote this.
That's great.
uh, so uh, let's see. Yes, and Grandma was a joy. Okay. High tea with my dog, Grandma. I served Grandma high tea. She just ate the scones. I spoke of the wall. She put her head in her paws. I spoke of North Korea. She rolled over. I spoke of my mother-in-law. She got up and walked away. I could hear her howl. Perhaps it was the echinacea tea.
Awesome. The echinacea tea could do that. Yeah.
Yeah, I think
Awesome.
so.
And you got one more for us, right?
Yes.
Awesome.
One more. Things my mother would say or ask as I got older. You should always make sure your underwear is clean. You never know if you have to go to the hospital. Did you meet someone yet? Are you dating? Are you eating enough? Why don't you talk to me? Nothing to say? Why don't you get along with your brothers? When the fuller brush man comes, do not answer the door. We do not have any money. When I am gone, you will be sorry. Are you dating? When will I have grandchildren? When I die, make sure I am buried with my slippers on. My feet are always cold. Did you eat? Do not tell your uncle you did not eat. Do not tell your uncle we have no money. Is everything okay? Will I see you married? Ma, please.
Awesome. Awesome. And I think you followed your mother's instructions. You buried her with her slippers on, right?
Yes, I did. But here's the
Awesome.
problem. 2 weeks later, a week later, or several days after my mother was buried, the funeral director called me up and he said, I have something to return to you. And he returned my mother's slippers. And I said to him, no, you have to bring up the body and put the slippers on. He said, we can't do that. And I heaped vituperations on the man. So he says, well, Mr. Tomeo, I'll take $1,000 off the bill. Would that satisfy? Yes, Mama would like that. Okay. So
Mom
he
would find
did.
that a fair deal.
He
Yeah,
did.
absolutely.
And then I wrote a poem, Mama Slippers, and I entered it in a contest. I won the contest and I won
Wonderful.
$1,000.
Awesome.
So, and now they're one of my prized possessions. They're on an
Yeah.
antique rocking chair that's been in my family for 100 years.
Wonderful, wonderful. Well, your poems are wonderful. Your observations are great. And you're always a delightful guest. The name of the book we've been talking about today is The Usefulness of Hippopotamus, a humorous chapbook for trying times. It is a powerful reminder that laughter can light the way even through the darkest seasons. Vincent, thank you so much for joining me once again here today on Spotlight.
Thank you very much. And this is the holiday season. So I wish you a Merry Christmas if you celebrate. If not, whatever you celebrate and however you celebrate, I wish you good cheers. Health
I
and
appreciate that.
happiness.
Thank you, Vincent. Merry Christmas to you as well, and a beautiful, healthy 2026.
Thank you, sir. Same
Thank
to
you, sir. To the folks at home, I'm Lucan Crawford for the Spotlight Network. So long for now.